Welcome back to the live session from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. For this session, Thursday, 31st of July 2025, beginning another live session for this day here, expecting bigger move as after the FOMC, as expected. As we discussed in all our live session, the market is in fact in a pretty strong movement at the moment. If you guys look at it, you can see after the FOMC coming up later today, CAD and dollar core PCE price index, employment cost index, as well as an unemployment claims, followed by tomorrow coming up NFP2, very important trading days. I see the market is in a very important level, guys. We could look for an entry in this market. So if you look at the 1 hour, there is a dodgy 1 hour pin bar from this high, and 4 hour we can see there is a rejection from the 10 EMA on the 4 hour chart that we can see, which is an important key area of value. But you can see the market here yesterday, there was a massive breakdown on the daily. If you look at here, this is the daily drop from this high. And currently the market is retesting this support as a resistance. Understanding breakdown is key when we are looking at entry, guys. If you didn't like this stream, I would appreciate if you give a thumbs up and say yes in the live chat when you're here. We are looking for the best trade coming up in this session, and that's gonna be a bigger trade setup for the day potentially, as the market is on an important area of value. Now, before we look for the trade setup, first of all, we need to look for why we will be opening any position and what is the important zone, why it is important zone. That is what we are looking at. If you guys look at that market, you can see that this is in a very important area of value. Understanding area of value will give you also proper understanding of how and when you should be opening position. Guys, this is Forex Wizard for longer experience, sharing with you the real trading education. I would highly encourage you to take notes. If you can't take notes that you are watching on mobile or on a go, then highly encourage you to pay attention so that you can get the full understanding of the strategy and education discussing here in this live session. I'm looking at the 4 hour chart. Now, why am I looking at the 4 hour chart? Guys, can you see the current 4 hour candle at 330405 level? I'm trading gold now at the moment. Trading gold is my favorite instrument that I all the time open position. As you guys see that we are opening a lot of position on gold in all aspects. So because this instrument is really good to trade when you know how to trade, because gold can be traded on the lower time frame, 5 minutes, 1 minute, and it works because the market trends in an important time, such as in London session and NY session. That's why I'm coming on live twice every single day to trade with all of you in this live market. Now, where gold is potentially heading, if you look at the 4 hour 20 EMA, now you can see that this is the 4 hour 20 EMA, which is an important zone, right? So from that 4 hour 20 EMA, we can see the market had an initial rejection. This is a falling market. Now, is this market preparing for a reversal or it's a pullback? That's the very important question that we'll be looking to answer in this live session, and then based on that we will be looking for entry. The first thing that I'm going to do here, guys, is looking at the monthly chart, right? So here the monthly price action is very important. See that. That's why it is so important that you always look at the, I saw that many people, many traders just trade on 5 minutes. Looking at one time frame will give you a clear direction in the market. You need to look for the bigger picture. You need to look for the higher time frame. You need to look at the multi time frame so that you can open multiple position and get profit whenever it gives you with proper risk management. Now, here is the monthly price action. You can see from the high, the price has dropped from this monthly high and to this monthly low. And now the market is on the monthly opening and closing area that you can see that is where this is the monthly resistance line. And from that monthly resistance, the price, you can see it penetrated back below and then drop back to the upside again to this level where there is a high liquidity. Now, as this is the monthly resistance, you can see that it's now trying to get back below here. The price below the ceiling, very important. We need to understand the ceiling and floor. I will be discussing later. These are the core concept of trading for those who are professional trader. They trade based on that. You need to ask this question: either this market on the floor or on the ceiling, above the floor or below the ceiling, and then consider as like a tennis ball, press that on the floor or ceiling and see what happened. If you consider this monthly close and open, let me draw that line here to understand it. You can see this is the monthly resistance line and this is ceiling. Now the ball is below the ceiling. If you press it on the top of the floor, which way the ball is likely to be bounced? That's where the key here to know. Let's look at the weekly chart to see how the market is evolving. Now, looking at the weekly market, you can see that this is the weekly pin bar, and from the weekly pin bar, the market has initially broken back below here. From that level, the market has broken back below here. That's the look at here how the market has created a long wick at the bottom. Now this is the weekly candlestick pattern, guys. We are almost nearly to the second half of the week. What do you see in this weekly candle? This is the most important information that you need to look at. The visible information in the chart is the price action, the candlestick pattern, because this is only the information that you can see rather than what you see on the news or on the social media. Because at the end of the day, the only thing matters here is what you see on the market, because what the buyers and sellers are doing on the other side is being printed as a candlestick pattern. And when it is being printed as a candlestick pattern, that is where you will see the market is preparing for that move in that direction, because professional trader, the profitable trader, they don't pay attention to the noise. You need to pay attention to the real information. The mind is like a laser, a narrow beam of light that only can focus on one thing at a time, right? One thing at a time. This is the vital information. The mind cannot focus on a lot of things at a time. And you need to use the mind to make a trading decision for you. That's why it is said that mind is a poor master but excellent servant. You can make your trading decision when you are focused to the point. So that's why if you pay attention to the noise, you're not gonna make it. If you wanna make it, pay attention to the real information. This is only the information that you need. What do you see on the weekly candlestick pattern? A bigger red body, right? With a long wick at the bottom. Ask yourself one question: where this candle is likely to move, which direction? That's all you need to know to find a directional bias. Now this long wick represents on the weekly is pullback, right? So if this is having that pullback on the weekly, then the market is potentially likely to fill that long wick. Now, being confident, okay, and at the same time being skeptical. That's the key of becoming a better trader, right? That's why it is said that, I think someone said, very wise man said that you will find a lot of, right, bold trader, and also you will find a lot of old trader, but very rarely you will find a bold at the same time old trader. Okay, so you need to be bold, and at the same time you need to be old. You need to be confident, and at the same time you have to be experienced. And that's why you need to stay in this game of trading long enough to understand that no matter how confident you are, the trade can go completely the other way around that what you have predicted, and you have to be okay with it. And that's why you need to make sure that you always open trade with strategy. Now, what you can see here from the weekly, this is the weekly price action. You can see a healthy body with a long wick. Now, try to push that price back below here. Let's look at the daily chart here. Now, from the daily, what do you see? That this is the daily support, okay, and this is the daily resistance. The market is approaching that level where there is a high liquidity, support turn resistance, expecting that this market to potentially trend back down here. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart here, that you can see there is a dodgy formation from the 4-hour. The price is touching that 4-hour 20 EMA, 10 EMA, and basically this is where we might see a potential entry. Going back to the 1-hour chart. Now, when we are this is called the top down analysis. You go to the top and then coming to the bottom and then coming to the bottom to the top. So then you have an overall, a generalized picture about the market. That's what you need. You first need to, that dive into every area, every time frame, so that you have a proper picture about the market. When you have that proper understanding, proper picture about the market, then you are ready to get into a trade. That's what we're looking at to see on Xauusd, the market currently approaching this 4-hour resistance. Here you can see this is the move that in the past that has made the price is now approaching that level. Highly likely now we could see from the 1 hour, already you can see it has primarily a long wick doji. Now this doji is still not enough to consider a sell. It may be later, but now not. Can you tell me why? That's where the understanding. Can you tell me why I'm not satisfied with this doji here on the 1 hour for sell? There is only one reason. See the high. Look at this 1 hour doji, right? So what do you see here? This is 1 hour doji, and that's the high here. Therefore, when you are looking at this market, when this candlestick pattern has formed on the 1 hour, this big red candle followed by another red candle, these two giant candles, when they formed, there was selling pressure here, right? Whenever you see a red candle, imagine that for sure there was selling pressure there. Otherwise, that candle wouldn't be formed. So those sellers' stop loss or the liquidity is here. And the purpose of this move to the upside is to attract those liquidity. Liquidity is the fuel of the market. It acts like a magnet with the price. The price moves from liquidity to liquidity. So if you look at that zone here, the liquidity is above this level and the market is slowly pushing back to the upside to that liquidity zone. And therefore, that being said, the market potentially could go back here to grab the liquidity, and this long wick doji that we can see has not triggered those liquidity in that area, and because it didn't has got that liquidity trigger, is still there is a possibility that the market is going to go there, grab the liquidity, and then rejecting back below here. So still there is a possibility for this market to go ahead and then hit that area, waiting for that the market to potentially show that pattern that the market is going to go ahead, hit that zone, grabbing the liquidity, and then rejecting back below. And that rejection that we will be trading. Now, nothing we can guess because there is only one reason. We can't trade based on guess. This is a move that you can see to the upside here. And that move can still be a reversal and continue to go up. You see, this is what we need to know. Now, how do you know that that move that you can see on the 1 hour is getting a rejection from here or is continuing to the upside? Until we are sure about that, we are not opening any position. That's what we need to follow along. Now, let's look at the daily here. You see that the market, this green candle on the daily is the indicator, is the clue here that we need to look at. The price is coming to hit that green candle because if you look at this whole move, you see that back to back 4 days red move followed by one narrow green candle followed by another big red candle. Now the price is going to hit that support, which is previous support, turn resistance time, moving a little, pushing back to the upside little bit, exactly to touch that support. As you can see, this is the also in the past acted here as a this is a support. And if this market that you can see currently approaching that 3307 or 3308 or 06 level, and then getting a rejection, which is we might see at least for short period of time, that's where we can look for selling, because from this zone in this whole mob there is only one green candle that has created that liquidity zone. And if this market is not being able to reject from that level, even after a little pushback, we may see that this is gonna be boom, a bigger reversal back to the upside. Then we will not be selling instead, we will be buying. So far we see, now you can see it's pushing back here. This zone is where the daily level, let's redraw this daily level again to see where potentially the market, this is the zone that you would like to see the market is respecting and then getting that rejection. Now, once the price reach the 3307 level, which is the daily support, from here we can expect the market to have at least a pullback to this level. So this is the plan. This is today's London session trading plan. Would like to see the market going to hit the daily low and then having that rejection back below. Now if you are a day trader, sit down in front of the chart to find those trade. That is what you need to look at when you are especially looking for the best trade setup in the market. That being said, what we can expect now, you see, this is the, now we have found the technical aspect of the higher time frame, how the market might behave, especially relating to the daily support level. Daily time frame is very important. Why? Because daily is neither a very higher time frame nor very lower time frame, and that's why the first thing that I do when I sit down in front of my desk is to look at the daily chart. Looking at daily chart will give you a very clearer understanding of the overall movement in the market. So let's see that now from that daily time frame, daily resistance, how the market is reacting will determine today's movement or how we can enter into the trade. I hope that you guys are understanding. If you understand, if you can hear me, say yes in the live chat. I would like to make sure that that stream is going well. Welcome. Good morning. Excellent call. The sell yesterday. Welcome. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, now the market is pushing that level here, which is the daily level support. And from that level, now you can see we have found our level in terms of the higher time frame. Now, two things. One is the multi-time frame analysis. There are two parts in trading. One is analysis. The other one is entry. Now, so far, what we have learned, what we have done, and what we have gone through is for directional bias, not for entry. For entry, we need price action confirmation. Confirmation is key to avoid early entry or the FOMO, that means the late entry. Now, what do you see that this is the 1 hour candle. The previous 1 hour was doji, followed by this 1 hour is getting also that rejection from that level. Now I'm going to the lower time frame on the 5-minute chart. Now in this 5-minute chart, that's where we may find entry for this potential move back below, so far as we are expecting that this market to come back here to this order block. 3275 is an order block. This is where the smart money bought this market to go back to this high, and that's what we're waiting for, this market to potentially drop to that support level. Now, if the price is not being able to break that 3307, we should be able to see a clear reversal pattern formation in this resistance level. Now, reversal pattern is not enough for the confirmation. This is the biggest mistake that almost every trader make in the beginning, especially looking at double top for sell, head and shoulder for sell, just to see the market reversed, because reversal pattern more often form as a fake move. So how do you identify or use those double top or the reversal pattern to trade when it happens? Now, reversal pattern is needed. Without reversal pattern, you cannot find high quality trade. Then how do you use that reversal pattern that I am going to show you right now? Look at this one here. Double bottom. You see? That's a reversal pattern. Where does that happen? Trend is your friend all the time, as long as you are trading. Now, trend is very important. Why? Because when you are trading with the trend, then you need to wait for the reversal pattern to confirm you trade in the direction of the trend. Guys, this information will remove a lot of error from your trading. Just this information, let me show you what it is. When you look at this one here, what I'm drawing. Right? You see, this is the key. Do not trade this head and shoulder. Trade this double bottom. Both reversal pattern. But one is telling you to take a trade against the trend. One is telling you to take a trade in the direction of the trend. So whenever you see a reversal pattern, a head and shoulder or an inverted head and shoulder, double top or double bottom, or any kind of reversal pattern, ask yourself, is this suggesting me to trade in the direction of the major trend, or it is telling me to trade opposite direction of the trend? And that's where understanding the market structure. This is vitally important information that you need to apply in every strategy you are using, because these are universal, right? So you need to know that the direction of the trend and then trading with the trend. So that being said, let's go back to the chart here on the 5 minutes. Redraw the level because the market is changing its structure over and over again. Simple level 3307 is the daily support, right? So this is the daily support. And below is where the daily resistance. This is where looking at this market to potentially test, and this is where our possible entry opportunity. This is the expectation from the market, this London session, for this market to go ahead, retest the daily level, and then to reject. If this market have that rejection from this daily high, that means the daily support, which is turning resistance, we can expect it to drop back below this order block, or even could continue further below. So this is the plan for that move. Now, when you are making a trading plan like this, where you're gonna open position or buy or sell, all the time the market may not do exactly. This market may not reach 3307. It is still can continue to drop even from that zone. Then how do you trade this market in that situation when it doesn't comply as per your expectation? In that situation, what you need here is for this market to break the swing low, the market to create a new market structure. So that means if this market reverse from that level, it is still maintaining an uptrending market structure. How do you know that it's maintaining that uptrending market structure? By understanding all those series of high and low. And when the market is maintaining that series of high and low in an uptrend, once the market is managed to break from that structure, you could see that this market is trending back below. And when it will establish a downtrend on this lower time frame, even without revisiting this daily level, we are set to sell the market from the trend as a trend trader. That's how trading is, because there's a lot of uncertainty when you are predicting a market. But when it goes as per the plan, you will trade as per the plan. But if it doesn't go as per the plan, then you're gonna trade it with the new plan, with the new market structure. And that is why whenever the market structure changes, the key here is to become flexible in your approach as a trader. Welcome. Can we look at any other pairs for entry? Of course we can look at. We do trade major pairs. Of course we can look at. Now some of the areas that we can see here. Euro dollar, it might be having a reversal here. I would like to see what instrument you guys are looking at while we are looking at this on XAUUSD. We can look at yen pairs, Gbpjpy and dollar yen. Before we go to the currency pairs, let's try to find the setup here. And then once the trade up and running, we can look for the currencies to see if any other opportunities there. The flow is very important. When you are trading, you need to trade with flow. Now when you are looking at the chart, doing the analysis, you might find an entry and then executing the trade based on that decision. That's being in the flow. So here we are on the zone where the market is potentially approaching that daily high. I'm in profit on Euro USD sell. Euro USD had a massive breakdown that we have seen, and we may see it's now has broken that key support. We might see the market to pull back, or it might consolidate here. We will be doing the full analysis. First, we would like to see here as the market on gold in a very crucial level at the moment. From the daily, this is the daily support and resistance. Now you can see, as we discussed, this is maintaining still uptrending market structure here. And in that uptrend, the market is showing that pattern potentially back to the upside here. So with this movement to the upside, you are not opening position, as we are looking to see the market is going to potentially hit that daily support. Once we see the reversal, that is where entry, because I am still bearish on gold. Waiting on that market to potentially revert back to this support level. On the currency pairs, if we look at Euro USD, almost nearly to the end of the month. And this market on euro dollar had a very sharp breakdown. We may see potentially from the higher time frame that we can see on euro dollar to be potentially to be bearish, but we see that there is a deeper pullback here. And lower time frame is still, we may see trend continuation, and it may even consolidate here. Because once the monthly close on euro dollar, that you can see, this is the monthly support, it may have another move back to the upside, because the long-term picture on euro dollar is bullish. This monthly candle is a potential pullback, and then we may see the market to return again to the upside here. From the weekly, it's approaching the weekly 20 EMA and also the weekly liquidity zone where there is a doji. It may highly likely that in next 2 days still be potentially bearish, and then from here any of this zone we could see that with the monthly close after this kind of long wick candle formation to revert back again to pull back to the upside on the monthly. So lower time frame on euro dollar, if we look at this lower time frame, is still bearish. So if we find lower time frame entry for sell, we will be looking into the sell on euro dollar. Once it appears, we'll keep eye, as I have watch list on euro dollar, yen pair, as well as XAU-USD. Now gold, as we discussed, has come back here again. It's moving back to the upside to this daily potentially resistance line. So this is an uptrend here. If you look at the 15 minutes, you can see that the 10 and 20 MA crossed over from each other, and then the price was respecting this 10 EMA. This is a very sharply trending market at the moment. So from the lower time frame, it's respecting this 10 EMA on the 15 minutes, still maintaining that bullish market structure. So it's only bullish here. And we may see the market to cross 3307, 3308 level, which is still maintaining that up move. Here you can see that. And it's approaching that level as soon as we saw top. Yeah, it's crossing that level, daily level. You can see that it's just crossed the daily support zone. Moving back to the upside here on gold. Okay, getting that rejection from the top, and so you see the price has tested the daily high here. Now, this is a long candle on the 5 minutes. Now the question is, are you going to open position now from the daily level? To understand it, we need to look at the 5 minutes price action again. Upon this candle close, if we see that it's still maintaining bullish market structure until we see it's reversed completely, we have to be patient here, as the market on the daily level that you can see. This is the daily level, and in that daily level the price is now the 5 minutes getting the rejection here, forming a double top. Let's wait to see if we can look for an entry in this area. Now from the 5 minutes, so you see there is a long wick from this daily level. All right, guys, are you ready for an entry? I think we can open a position based on what the market is showing us for a possible rejection back below. And the stop loss, we need to keep at least 50 pip above with only a little risk in it. So the pip even bigger, the risk has to be smaller. And I'll be targeting this market to this support level here for a potential rejection back below. So I am opening sell here on Xauusd for this potential drop back below in this market. So the stop loss here at 3311. So putting the stop loss at 3311.40 and TP target here at 3295.00. Place the sell on Xauusd for this potential drop back below. And this is a bullish market, but expecting a trend breakdown for this potential rejection here in this market. As the price on the daily resistance line, we can expect a rejection back below in this market. If it bounces, then we might see that this market to possibly go back up to the previous daily high, or potentially to have a bigger reversal here. You have opened our first trade of the day on gold, and would like to see that the market to possibly to trend back here. This is based on the daily level, and the market on the key level of resistance. So from the 5-minute chart, we can see that there is a bearish doji. After this move back to the daily resistance, the price has tested the daily high, daily low, and at the moment we can expect a rejection or the correction for this trend. That's why we're waiting to see that the market to take that shape back below here to this support level. Make sure guys you give a thumbs up here in this live session. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day in this session as well as in our invoice session. Expecting the market to trend down here to this support level. That's why we're waiting to see the market to potentially continue to break below here. And as there is a daily level that we have seen, price has moved back to the daily level. We can expect it to have a short-term breakdown here from this daily resistance. We have a room here for the potential error. We'll be looking to see that if the market is maintaining that move here in this directional bias. The trade is on the 5 minutes time frame, and we see that there is a one big hit to the daily support, and that hit expecting the market to trend back potentially below to this 3299 level. The market is on the profit zone at the moment. Are you guys enjoying the trade moving back below? It's pushing back down. It's happening right now. This is a live trade in the live market. You guys enjoying this live in the trade in the live market, and I am on this trade with all of you running in profit. And once I will be closing, I will give a shout out. Once you will be securing the profit, you will be taking the shout out. Currently running 22 pip profit in my account. Awesome. Taking profit right now in that trade. And you already closed, but would like to start the day with the live market, live trade profit in this session. Profit taken on gold. Profit taken. $24 profit taken in this trade. So my profit here on this one is 24p profit taken on Xauusd in our London live. Still, we have a lot to take from the market. The reason I have closed before we reach the full profit is because of the trend continuation still may happen. And in the premium, if you guys want to get access to more and more education analysis as well as trade like that, to learn the strategy that I am trading, also stay connected by joining the Telegram. You can find link below this video where you can find more often the joining link to premium. Now, what did you learn from this trade? Let's understand that how we can trade the market with high win rate. Now, can you give feedback in the live chat if you have closed that profit or is still running? If you like the trade, I would appreciate if you give a thumbs up, smash the like button. And also hit that subscribe button if you haven't done yet to stay connected for more trade. I'm coming on live twice every day. One in London, the other one is NY session. We have more to take. Let's wait to see how the market is now evolving in that area. Ready for another one? Okay, so here the market is now. We may see if this market now want to completely reverse to the support level, we might see that this market is maintaining a reversal pattern here. It is still trading with the trend, and the trade was taken, then is rejection from the daily support. When you see the market is approaching such an important daily or higher time frame area of value, you can expect a rejection, because this is a bigger ATR move, and that move even can act as a reversal from that level to this order block, which is still maintaining that uptrend. But we might see that this level is getting rejected and creating a potential reversal pattern here in this area. Now I'm looking at again higher time frame to see how the market structure is evolving here. If you look at the 1 hour, you can see it closed as a long wick, and you can see the market is slowly filling that long wick on the 15 minutes and trying to push that back above. Now, this move potentially now showing that the market may continue higher. And it may potentially continue to higher. Now I'm looking to see if the market is now preparing for a possible bigger move back to this previous daily high. Let's look at the daily level. Now this green candle and this red candle is the previous daily high that you can see. And if this market is managed to now break to the upside here, we may see this market to continue to rise back to this previous daily high. As we see that the market is still not showing a stronger reversal pattern. Depending on how the market structure will be forming here, we will be able to see either this market to reverse or to continue. The trend is still up. And here, the best way to trade next is to wait for either the market to break out to the upside to this previous daily high or to reverse from this level. Now, how can we find out the next trading opportunity? Now, we have traded the plan. So this is the power of having a plan. Before you open the trade, having an idea at what level you will be trading and why you will be trading. The reason is very important. Now, why you are trading is very important, guys. As I mentioned earlier quite a few times, why you will be trading is the most important part of opening a position. Though we taken a short-term move exactly where the market is supposed to drop, we had a reason behind that trade. The reason is daily level, daily support. The market hit the daily support, therefore can expect a reaction back. And that's what we have taken in this trade. And because the market trend is still to the upside, we have secured the profit. Now the trend is still continuing. That means it may try to move up further. But this is a very important, crucial level here that you can see, which is a very important area of value. Now in this crucial level that we can see from the daily zone, we may even see a complete reversal pattern formation. And if this market is forming that complete reversal, we can look for the bigger trade. That means 100 pip or more position. And that's our main next goal here. As this market is a long-term downtrend and the market had a very sharp rejection from this level, in this zone at this moment we will not be looking for buy. But if you look at coming up in my zone 1030, core price index, PC price index, employment cost index, as well as unemployment claims later today, those news could change the market sentiment. And with those news, we may see that the market potentially be completely reversing back to this weekly resistance. Let's go back to the higher time frame again. And the monthly, the price is just above the monthly high, and this is the last day of the month. As you know, that tomorrow coming up, new monthly candle. And if you guys have seen my previous analysis, this is what exactly expected, that this monthly candle could be closing as a narrow doji. If this monthly candle closes as a narrow doji, we may see that once the new monthly open, there could be a bounce and then potentially even drop again, because back-to-back 3 dojis on the monthly, back-to-back 3, almost 4 monthly long week. Here is a rejection zone. We may see that there could be a monthly pullback with one single drop. And that might come with this weekly candle, because this weekly candle, the monthly will close, but the weekly still has not closed here. And that being said, the market may, with the weekly close, could come back here for another retest to this weekly 20 EMA. And going back to the lower time frame again to see how it may be forming. Here is the potential rejection. If does that, if the market reject from that level, that's where we will be entering into the trade. Again, once we see the market reverse from that zone or from above, because we will not be opening longer term trend opposite directional trade. We need to look at, we see the lower time frame trend is up, but the bigger picture trend, that means the daily trend, is still down. Weekly trend is still, from the price action we can see the downtrending bearish candlestick pattern formation. So waiting for the next entry for another move here. Along with on Xauusd, if we look at, also we looked at about euro dollar. Now I will be looking at euro dollar for few moments to see how the market is evolving with this live session. See if we can find also entry in any of these currency pairs. From the weekly, we see that euro dollar, as we discussed, there is a sharp breakdown from the weekly, the price below this weekly support level, approaching the weekly 20 EMA. We see monthly close coming, which is a red candle on the monthly. The price is approaching this monthly support. So from the monthly and weekly, we see that there's a bearish move. If we look at the daily here, this daily drop on the euro dollar from this level, we can see that a complete breakdown to this daily support level. And the market is below this daily low. From the 4 hour here, that we can see this market, we see there is a big drop here, pull back to the 10 EMA, and it's now again in a pullback from the 4 hour. From the 1 hour, we can see that on euro dollar, it's on a downtrend. From this level, a breakdown, form an inverted head and shoulder, bounce back to this upside on the 1 hour 20 EMA, which is the support and resistance. Here on euro dollar, if you look at the red candle, you can see there is a gap open, wickless candle formation on euro dollar. We may see that this market to go ahead, penetrate that level, and then to trend back down to this support level on euro USD. So for this instrument, today's plan here for this market to potentially break again to the high, and then to look for short-term sell opportunity to this level that we will be looking today once the market is grab liquidity from this high. Otherwise, we will be waiting for the market to show up new entry. This is the plan on euro dollar, and especially you see this high, that zone that you can see on the 1 hour, this is a liquidity zone. We may see that this market is going first up, and then from this swings low, that means the support and resistance, we could see that euro USD getting rejection here back below to this support level, and that's what we will be waiting on euro USD to penetrate that level and then to react back below this support level. So that being said, going back to on Xauusd, we can see that there is a bounce again in the major trend in the 5-minute trend to the daily level, and you can see the market is currently breaking to the upside here. Here is where you can see the market is trying to push back here to fill that zone and then to react back below here to this support level. The way the market is heading, we might see some upside momentum and then to reject back below. As of our London session, successfully we have secured 24 pip for this session. Coming up NY session, we will be trading upcoming unemployment change in this live session. I will be coming on just 3 hour 40 minutes from this time exactly. So make sure guys you join there as well for learning and growing as a trader, and I will see you back again in a couple of minutes. Just 3 hours 40 minutes from now on, we'll be back on track again in another live for the NY session trading. There is a lot to learn and also there is a lot to take. You have seen that already, the live trade that we have opened successfully closed. If you are happy with that, make sure you keep that in your account. Don't over trade, don't FOMO trade. Until that, stay well, stay happy. I'll see you again very soon trading live.